Well, hello. I'm today doing the tutorial for the Chunky Granny Stripe Beanie. And I did this at the end of the year leading up to Christmas, but I haven't got around to making my tutorial yet. And it's really a beautiful beanie. I made it in 2 colors so far. I'm going to make my 3rd one today. Christina Solis kindly tested it for me before I release the pattern. So it's made with just double crochet where you do 3 into 1, typical granny stripe. And then at the bottom, we've just gone into the back loop only to make this brim. And it's a really attractive hat. You can make in whatever colors you want. I've used Woolies Thick and Quick because I love that yarn. But when you put it on, you get this really nice slouch to it, and because it's built circular at the back of your head, you see this really nice like mandala pattern. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. You're going to need 3 different colors. You can make it in a solid color if you want to, but I'm today using up some of I've got some of this and this, so they're like I'm using a bit of my stash, but just in case, I do have a brand new raisin, and I do have a brand new one of these. I think it's ice. I can't remember the name. And then we've got this beautiful color here. All right, so those are the 3 colors that I'm going to be using. And so as long as you've got some super bulky 6 weight yarn, you can do it. If you want to use more colors, change every stripe row, change halfway through a row, do whatever you want. It's your hat, but I'll be showing you how I make it with 3 colors today, and you can adapt it to whatever you like. Okay, let's get going. So as I mentioned, we need 3 different colors. This one is raisin. It's kind of a deep, almost an eggplant kind of color. Okay, so this one is raisin, and then this one is a sea glass. You can use any colors you want, and this one happens to be their fisherman. They always call this off-white fisherman. So this is Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. Okay, then you also need a hook, and I'm using this 15mm hook, and so you need a big hook to make this. Okay, so I'm sorry if you have to go out and get one, and a pair of scissors and a yarn needle to sew in all the ends, because anybody who knows about granny stripes know you always have lots of ends. Okay, so let's get going. So the first thing we have to decide is what colors we're going to give names we're going to give to the colors. So we're going to give A to the raisin, and B to the sea glass, and C to the fisherman. Okay, so that's kind of how we're going to be doing these stripes, because in the pattern I've got it written change to color A, change to color B, and that's the best way to manage it. Okay, so we're going to start by making a slip knot. I just wrap the yarn over twice, pull it over and pull it over, and put my hook in there. I do have a beginner crochet tutorial here that shows you how to make a slip knot and how to do chains. Okay, so once you've done this, we are now going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to make a slip knot into the beginning of it, the first chain. So we put our hook in, put the yarn over, pull it through, and pull it through. Now I'm going to chain 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we have this little loop here, and we're going to be working into this little loop. Okay, so keep your finger there if you want to, just so that you can see where that little loop is. Now we've chained 3. Okay, so that's going to count as a double crochet stitch, and now we're going to do 1 double crochet into this loop, and then we're going to chain 1. Okay, the granny stripe is made out of fans or shells that are made with 3 double crochets going into 1 space. Okay, so that now makes us 2 double crochets and a chain 1. Okay, so that's what we've got here, 2 double crochets and a chain 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this 4 times. So we have to repeat the 2 double crochet, chain 1 4 more times, okay? So let's go in here. Yarn over for a double crochet into that hole, pull up a strand, pull it through 2, pull it through 2. Yarn over, go back into that hole where your finger is, pull the yarn through, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's 2 double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1. So we've done that little routine once, okay? And we're going to do it again. 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets, all into the same hole, okay? And then we're going to chain 1. Okay, now we're going to be going into the same hole, 2 more double crochets and a chain 1. Okay, yarn over, pull the yarn up, go through 2, go through 2. As I say, if you haven't learned how to do a double crochet yet, I have a tutorial on how to do double crochets. Go and practice your double crochets so you don't get super frustrated while you're trying to make this hat. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, now let's do one more set and we'll count, okay? So we're going to do 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and a chain 1. Okay, now we can look and see what we've got. We've got these 2, the chain 1, the chain 3, which acted as a pretend double crochet, and the double crochet, and a chain 1. You can see we've got a little space there. 2 double crochets and a chain 1 for another space. That was the first repeat. Second repeat, third repeat, fourth repeat. Okay, so that's what we've got. And what we should have here is 10 double crochets. So there's the 2 we just did. 2, 4, because we're all going in 2s, all of 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 9, and the chain 3. So that is our 10 double crochets, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to change to the color B, and we're going to do that by putting a slip stitch into the top of this chain 3. We're going to get away from this dark color, and things will start to be easier when we get away from this dark color. So I'm going to put my yarn through the loop of the top of the chain 3, and we're going to go to our second color, which is going to be the sea glass, and I'm going to grab that, because this is how we change colors so that it doesn't look too unsightly. Okay, we're going to wrap the sea glass over the hook, leaving quite a nice long tail, and we are going to pull it through those 2 loops that are on our hook. Pull that one, the raisin, tight. Okay, and this is what you're looking like. You've got a little circle here. It's like a little wheel. You can pull the one in the middle where you started. And we have the chain 3, double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we've joined our sea glass. And now we're going to start working with the long tail of the sea glass. And we have to start with the color B, and we're going to be chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I like to pull those tails just to make sure they're secure. Okay, and it makes it easier if you just cut off. I know it makes more ends, but just cut it off so you're not getting tangled up with all these different colors. Okay, so now we're going to carry on with the sea glass. So we've chained 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we're going to make 1 double crochet, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets into the same space, right? Which is going to be this space here. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, so there are those 2 together, the chain 3 and the double crochet, that make 2. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to make 2 double crochets back into that same space. 1, 2, okay, so we've got 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets into that space. All right. Now we're going to skip over these 2 double crochets here, and we're going to make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into this chain 1 space from the previous row. So we're going to 1, 2, 2 double crochets, and we're going to chain 1, and into that same space we're going to make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. So now we're not going to chain 1, we're just going to skip over these 2 double crochets, and we're going to go into this next hole. You can see all the way around there's 2 double crochets and a hole, 2 double crochets and a chain 1 space. Okay, so into each of these chain 1 spaces we are going to be doing 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Okay, so we're not going to chain between. So now we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets into the same space, 1 and 2. Okay, there we go. That's our little fan in there, because we're increasing as we're going around to make the hat, so it's going to actually fit on your head. Okay, so now we've got to skip these 2. We're not going to chain 1, we're just going to skip these 2, and into that chain 1 space we're going to do 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets. So here's 1 and 2, a chain 1, 1 and 2, and remember, if I'm going too fast for you, you can stop your video and pause it. Okay, now we're going to skip over these 2. We're not chaining 1 in between, we're just going to skip over these 2, go straight into the chain 1 space with 2 double crochets, a chain 1, and 2 double crochets, 1, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And then guess what? We're going to skip these 2 and we're back at the beginning. Okay, now to check that you've got the right amount of double crochets, we can start here. You've got 2 here because this chain 3 acts as 1, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So now we're going to join them together. So at the top of this chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we are going to be slipping our hook into the top of the chain 3, and we're going to be bringing in our 3rd color. Okay, I'm actually going to cut this one off right now. Give it a bit of space. And we're going to bring in our 3rd color, which is this fisherman color. So I'm going to get some fisherman yarn. Here we go. And make ourselves a little, leave a nice long tail. So wrap it over your hook and pull it through, and then pull it through. And that's how we make the join. Now always remember to pull these loose ends nice and tight. Okay, and we're going to start our 3rd round. Okay, so for our 3rd round we are going to be chaining 3 as we usually do with the new color, with the color C. So that makes sure I have the working yarn, because that's the short piece. I need the long piece. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I need to loosen up some of my yarn because it's all rolled up here. Okay, we've chained 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet into the same space, because we're starting to do 3 clusters now, not just 2, because the clusters were only 2, but now our hat is getting bigger. So we're going to do 2 more here, which with the chain 3 is the same as pretending we've got 3 double crochet. Okay, so we do 2 double crochet. So here we finished the first shell here with the chain 3 and the 2 double crochets. Now what we're going to do is we're actually just going to do 3 double crochets into each of the spaces as we go round. We're not going to do the 3 double, like before we were doing a chain 1 in between and increasing. We're not increasing anymore. We're always going to stay with this amount of shells, okay? So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the first space here and we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to skip over and we're going to do 3 in the next one. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets into that space. And we're going to be skipping over 2 double crochets and finding our next space, which is here, right? It's quite an obvious space. And we're going to do 3 double crochets into there. 1, 2, and 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around, skipping over the 2 double crochets, doing 3, skipping over 2, doing 3, skipping over 2, doing 3, all the way around, and we should end up with 10 of these 3 double crochet fans. So let's see how we go. I'll let you go around to the end and I'll meet you. So here we are. So let's count how many of the 3 double crochets. This one, of course, is the chain 3 and the 2 double crochets. It's got the fake double crochet in there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 3 double crochet shells made in between each of those 2 double crochet shells from the previous row. So we're going to change back to A. I wish I hadn't picked this color for A because it's quite dark, but hopefully we can make it work. Okay, so we're going to take our hook and put it in the top of the chain 3, and we're going to grab our raisin. Where is it? There it is. Grab our raisin, color A. If you wanted to make a different color in each row, you can. You can make it all the same color. It's up to you. But this is how my pattern is, so I'm going to make my tutorial to match my pattern. And then you pull it through, and then you pull it through. And then what I like to do is, like I say, is pull that tight. You can actually knot these colors, these strands together after you've finished. Just make sure they don't pull through, if you like, before you weave in all the ends. Cut that. And now here we go. We're starting on, this is row 1, 2, 3. We're starting on round 4 with color A. And we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because that's our fake double crochet stitch, right? I like to pull these tight so they're nice and tight. I could always show you. We could just tie those in a knot if we like. I didn't do this before, but it might be a good idea to do that. You could even just do a single like that. Okay, so now we've got the ends are secure, so we don't have to worry about them going anywhere. And we are going to do 2 double crochets into that same space as we did our chain 3. 1 and 2. So there we go. We've got our fake double crochet with our chain 3 and our 2 double crochets. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next space. 1, 2. You can see it's quite a loose hat with this big hook. 3. Okay, and then we're going to go all the way around, making 3 double crochet in each of the next spaces, which are now between the 3 crochet shells there. So we're going to go all the way around, making 3 double crochet into each of these spaces. You see how we're keeping it the same now. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll go all the way around, making 3 double crochet into each of these spaces. Okay. Oh, and if you wanted to check, I think we checked, but make sure you've got 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 3 double crochet shells before you move on to the next row, just to make sure you're okay. Okay. And here we are at the end. I've just done my 3 double crochet into here. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shells. And you'll see it's starting to curl up. It's starting to look like a hat. Go figure. So here we go. Now I'm going to take my hook and go into the top of the chain 3 from the from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to grab that yarn with my hook, and I'm going to get my new color, which is the sea glass, and we're going to thread that through with your hook. Pull it right through the top of the chain 3. Come on, you can do it. There. And through the top of the end there. And pull them tight. I'm going to do what I did before because I kind of like that idea of tying off the ends. Let's cut the color B. And there we go. So when we set off for our new row, it's all secure and we're not going to be losing anything, okay? So now we've got the color B for, this is round, this is color C. This is round 6. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. So now we're going to chain 3 for round 6. And we're going to repeat. We're going to do 2 in the same space as where we chained the 3, 2 double crochets. And into each of the spaces in between these 3 shells, we are going to be doing 3 double crochet all the way around. So we should have another 10 sets of 3 double crochet when we're finished. I'll meet you around at the end. And here we are at the end of the round 6, and we have the 10 clusters of 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's the end of round 5, which is color B, and we are now going to be adding color C, which is the white color. Okay, so let me find the white. So we start round 6 with the white. Here I found my white, fisherman as they call it. I'm going to pull it through like I did for the other rows, and we're going to tie off the ends. I'm going to cut the color B and tie it to this white. There we go. And we're working with the white now, color C, for round 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is round 6. So we're going to chain 3. And we're going to do another round with 10 of the 3 double crochet shells. So we've chained 3 in there. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets into that space. 1 and 2. And then we're going to skip across and do 3 double crochets in each of the spaces as in the previous round. Okay, so that's the end of round 6, and once again we'll have the 10 shells. I don't need to count them again for you. You know how to do that now. And this round is going to be different, okay? So this is a decreasing round. So I'm going to find the top of my chain 3, and I'm going to bring in the color A, and I'm going to tie it off with the white that's from the previous round, so we don't have any loose bits flying away on us, getting gaps in our hat. Now, as I said, this is a decreasing round, so you have to listen because some of them are going to have 3 in and some of them are going to have 2 double crochets. So we're going to chain 3, as we did in all of our previous rounds. That's the fake double crochet, right? So we've chained 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then we're going to make 1 double crochet into that same space. Okay, so that's a 2 double crochet shell. Okay. And then we're going to do 3 double crochet into the next space. So we're going to find our next space here, count over those 3 double crochet. We're not going to chain 1, we're just going to do 3 double crochet because we want this hat to be tight around your forehead, right? So this is a decreasing row. 1, 2, and 3 double crochet into that space. Okay. 2 double crochet in that space, then we do 3 double crochet into the next space. 1, 2, and 3, and we do 2 double crochet into the next space. So into this space we're going to do 2 double crochets. That's how we're decreasing, right? We're cutting out. We've already cut out 2 of the double crochets, okay? And then we're going to repeat that little pattern. So we're going to do 3 double crochet into the next one. And we're going to do 3 double crochet into the next one. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 2 into the next one. 1, and 2. And then we do it again. 1, 2, 3 into the next one. 1, 2, 3, and 3 into the next one. Getting near the end. 1, 2, and 3. And then into the final space, we're going to make 2. 1, and 2. And then we're going to join in our color B at the top of this chain 3, okay? And our color B is that sea glass. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put my yarn and hook in there, my crochet hook, and find my sea glass, my color B, and pull it through, slip stitching it through. I'm going to cut off color A and tie that knot with the color B in the back of the work there. And we're going to work with color B. Okay, so the next row is going to be B, and this is where we're sort of leading into the trim. Okay, we're starting to do our trim. So with the color B, we're going to chain 1. Okay, and we're going to single crochet in each double crochet stitch around until the end. Okay, when we get to the end, there's going to be a little kind of a tricky thing that just takes us down to 25 stitches. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to be making a single crochet into each double crochet around to the end. Okay, so we're going to do I think I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3. That's the first 3 double crochets done. 3. Then 4, 5, 6. That's our second shell done. 7, 8. That's the 2. 9, 10, 11. We're doing it into the beginning of each of the double crochet. 12, 13. One thing about using a big hook, we can see where all the spaces are. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is tightening things up too. 18, 19, 'My yarn's all tangled. 19. So here we go. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then what it does is we now have to do the slip stitch into the second here, up into here, okay? Okay, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to count, okay? So when we count, we're going to count this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 stitches. And that's what we want for the brim. If you want it tighter, you could change up how often you do it. You can do small, you know, decrease as you're going around, but this is the size I've made, and it's a pretty standard size and fits most people, okay? But if you'd like a tighter fit, you can adjust in this row 8. This is row 8 where we single crochet just by decreasing a few stitches evenly around the rim, okay? So now we're going to start round 9, and this is where we're making the brim. Now I've made the brim with the same color that I've single crocheted around with in these ones. But if you wanted to do a different color, you could. But I did this brim with the oatmeal, and I did this brim with the white. And I think this brim would look very nice with this sea glass. I am going to actually have to break into my other skein of yarn because I don't have enough with this. But this is how we're going to do our brim. Okay, it's really easy. I do have a video on how to do back loop only, but I'm going to show you here. When you look at the top of your stitches here, you can see all these little loops, right? They're like V's, okay? So we are going to now, because we're doing our brim, we are going to chain up 1. I've chained up 1, and then we're going to go into the back loop only. So there's 2 stitches. There's this one is in the front, it's towards me, and this one is in the back away from me. So I'm going to put my hook into that back one and do a single crochet. Okay, now we've got the next stitch right there. This is in front, this front one is facing me, this is in the back, so we're going to just go into that back, yarn over, pull it up, and do a single crochet. And we're going to go all the way around doing that. And this is back loop only, single crochet. Okay, that's how hard that is. But you see what it does? It makes these little ridges, which make a really nice looking brim on your hat. So we're going to go all the way around, and when we get to the end, I'll meet you there. Right now we're at the end, and what I tend to do is I don't tend to do it in the last stitch. I tend to just, because I want to make the brim a little bit more fitted, because it will stretch to fit, right? So I don't do a back loop only into my 25th stitch. I just go up into the top of the chain 1, and I do a slip stitch and join them together. I chain 1, and then we start again around. And as I say, I am going to not be going into the same one I just did it in. I'm going into the next stitch with a back loop only again, and create my second round of back loop only. Okay, we're going to actually do 2 more. This is row 10, and we are going to do a row 11 as well, round 11, because we're working in the rounds. But that's what I like to do for my brims. It's up to you if you want to do more or less. But I, in this pattern, have 3 rounds. So I'll meet you at the end of this. Here I am at the end of the second round, and I'm going to go in here. I always go through both loops when I do my slip stitch together, right? So that's the second round of back loop only, single crochet. So we chain 1, and here we go again for the third and final round, and our hat will be done all except for weaving in the ends. Okay, so we back loop only all the way around for our third row of the. So here we are at the end of the third round. There's 1, 2, 3 of the back loop only on top of the first row of single crochet. So I'm just going to put my hook through the first stitch of that last round, pull it through, cut off my yarn. I like to leave a long tail so I can make the when I've chained, you know, I want to make that as not obvious as possible when I do that. So this is our hat. Look at it. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. I love it. So it's the Chunky Granny Stripe hat. Okay, and we now have to turn it inside out and have all the fun of weaving in all these ends. And lots of people get angry and frustrated when they've got all these ends to weave in, but I like to think of it as a meditative practice. Put some gentle music on and just gradually get your yarn hook. Oh, I hope I didn't throw it off my table here. I'll have to find it. Yes, it was on the floor, working with all this yarn. So how I weave in my ends, and I'll just do a few for you just to show you. So I like to thread my yarn hook just by pinching the yarn and pushing it through like that. And then you're just going to, the rule of thumb usually is to go 3 different directions. I'm just going to go through here, pull it tight, go back, maybe trying to catch a few of those strands in there. Okay, that's 2. And then I'm going to go down through this yarn and in through the bottom part of the shell. And then that's my 3 directions. And then you can trim it off. Especially as in the lower rows, we did tie the ends together. See, this one I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. This one's been tied together. So at the beginning, I didn't do that. So you really want to make sure those loose threads are really woven in well. Okay. When I do the edge at the bottom of the hat, this part, I like to try and make it so that you can't really see where that knot is at the end, right? So I sort of go under here and then go up ahead a stitch and sort of pull it so that it sort of makes it look like it's just another part of the chain. I'm going to go down here, and then I'm going to go back up there, come out, and then trim it off. I'm on camera there. So yeah, you have to go through and weave in all of your ends, and then you have your Granny Stripe hat. These colors turned out really pretty. Yeah, so now I have my 3
Granny, I'm going to lift my camera.
What I really like about these hats is, as I say, when you've got them on the back of your head, this is what is looking, it looks really pretty from the back of your head. So yeah, so this is the one that needs the ends weaving in. Today's hat. And this is one of my previous hats. And this was my very first one I ever made. So all these different colors. Let's move them out. Don't they look pretty? So I hope you like to make a granny stripe hat, a chunky granny stripe hat. I hope this tutorial has helped you. There is a free pattern on my blog, and I'm going to put a link below. And I'm going to put it up on Etsy. It's not on Etsy yet, but I am going to put it up on Etsy. So if you want to buy a copy, I will have a 30% off coupon code down below if you want to buy it off of Etsy. Okay, and yes, find some scraps of 6 bulky weight yarn and make yourself a chunky granny stripe hat. I'm so happy with how they turned out, and I love this sea glass color. It's so pretty. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell, and then you'll get notifications, because sometimes I go live. So it would be nice to have you join me in a live. And also share the pictures of your hats on my Facebook group. It's the Caraway Crochet group. And I also have a page, just Caraway Crochet, facebook.com/Caraway Crochet, if you want to follow me there, because I share lots of patterns and information there on my Facebook page. So thank you so much. I'm going to put links below to all of my social media. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you. Happy crocheting, everyone.